absolute crap. Welcome to today's video, coffee drinkers. Today we're going to discuss, in my personal opinion, if I think that this coffee right here was worth $20 for this bag. So don't laugh at me for this setup because I do use a Keurig, and I know there's easier ways to use a Keurig. So basically what I do is that I bought this coffee so I could have it as fresh as possible. I bought it in whole bean form, so I have to grind my own beans. And I grind my own beans daily, so I get approximately the amount of grinds that I'm going to use during that day, or sometimes bleed into the next day or the next morning. But basically I'm grinding beans every day. So the part that sucks the most is I have not been able to find a good reusable K-cup that does not leak. I bought, currently the one that I'm using now is the stainless steel one that has all the little holes in it, made by Perfect Pod. Well, that's at least the brand name on it. I don't know what company makes it. But that thing's pretty much guaranteed not to leak. And that's absolute crap, because I cannot keep grounds out of my coffee when I use that little stainless steel pod to brew a cup of coffee. But look, that's kind of okay anyway, because the size of the Keurig pods doesn't really line up with the size cup of coffee that I like to drink with the strength level that I like to consume. Those little pods will hold 2 tablespoons, maybe 2.5 tablespoons worth of coffee grounds, and that's not enough to fill this 12-ounce mug with a good solid cup of coffee. So what I end up doing is I actually have this is an aluminum mixing bowl. It's a tall bowl, obviously, so not really a bowl. But I will stick a filter in the top of that and fold it over on the edges, and then I'll use like a hair tie or something to tie around it to hold the filter up. And then I will dump 10 ounces of just straight hot water through the Keurig, and it'll dump into this where I put my my ground up coffee beans, and it will just slow drip, and I'll let it go for a few minutes to really just slow drip all that flavor from those coffee beans into the bottom of this, and then I'll dump it in my cup, and I'll have a nice flavorful cup of coffee. What we have here is a nice dark cup of coffee from the Death Wish Coffee Company. So this stuff claims to be the world's strongest whole bean coffee. Highly caffeinated, organic, dark roast, bold flavor, yada yada, blah blah blah. Basically anything that any other company claims. But does it really live up to that hype? Actually, it kind of does. Alright, so look. I was actually kind of disappointed in this coffee. So, it smells amazing. But most coffee does. So I'm using right around the recommended amount of water for coffee that this company recommends. And I gotta tell you, it's not the strongest cup of coffee I've ever had. It's not even the most flavorful. I've gotten more rich bold flavor out of a $7 bag of cheap Colombian roast coffee sitting on the shelf right next to this at our local supermarket. So don't get me wrong, this does taste good, smells good, and something that I haven't been able to do in an incredibly long time is I'm drinking this coffee black. But I can actually take this just straight black, roll it around for a few seconds in my mouth, really get the flavor, whatever flavor there is. It's not too bitter. And another thing I like about it is, despite being as strong as they claim it's supposed to be, I'm very prone to stomach upset because of some condition that I have. And I gotta tell you, this stuff right here, it doesn't upset my stomach the way I would think that a highly caffeinated, bold, rich coffee would. It's pretty good. But ultimately, $20 a bag compared to, again, like I said, something sitting on the shelf right next to it for, $5, $6, $7, for a bag of, like I said, just cheap Colombian roast. I've been more surprised by those brands sometimes, because honestly, I've just had better experiences and better taste out of some of those coffees. So Death Wish coffee, is it worth it? Personally, I don't think it's anywhere near being worth it. Like I said, it produces a good cup of coffee, but for what it claims and for what I spent on it, I was extremely disappointed in the end result in the consumption. So I will not be buying Death Wish coffee again. I have no reason in the world to think that I would. But I mean, to each their own. You know, some of you might absolutely love this. Like I said, it's got a way more palatable flavor, a lot less bitter than some other coffees. You know, it's why I'm able to drink this black, where some others I can't. Well, most others I can't. So that's my personal boring review on Death Wish coffee. I shouldn't be drinking it anyway because of the anxiety that I experience on a daily basis. But sometimes you just want something really good with a lot of flavor, and so I splurged a little bit, and you know, I'm not paying any price for it. I just realized it wasn't worth what I paid for it. Sometimes that just happens and you just move on from it. If any of you have any recommendations on an actual good pod, reusable K-Cup pod to use for my Keurig, put it in the comments below. Maybe link directly to it if you found it on Amazon or something. Like I said, I've tried 3 different ones, and they all leak coffee grounds into my coffee. You know, they, I don't know what the problem is. I buy ones that are compatible with what I have. Anyways, thank you for wasting your time on this video. I'm going to let you go, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.